These saints were all weary. So what happens? Aaron and Hur. We know about Aaron a little bit. Heard about him. Hur's someone different. He's the son of Caleb who built the tabernacle. Later, there's a judge in Exodus 24, verse 12. They took a stone, sat him on it, lifted up his hands, so they were steady. Verse 13, Joshua overwhelms Amalek. Now, what's going on here? How does God provide the victory in their external problems? Dependence. Dependence. That's what this hand lifted up means. It's showing absolute dependence. All the commentary, all the people on this verse, there's some debate on this, but most of the ones I trust in our realm, the Reformed tradition, say this is actually prayer. Most of the time, that any time in the Old Testament, praying was happening is when hands were lifted. And if you think it's prayer, exactly prayer, whatever, regardless of not, what was providing the victory? It was faith. We can't. It's dependence. And is there anything more that prayer is supposed to do than that? Ephesians, again, 6 talks about the spiritual reality and the fight that we have going on. What is a weapon? The word for sure, it's the sword. But what's another weapon? The key weapon? Prayer. It's dependence. That's where the victory comes. Not from you, it's dependence. But this is the best news in this whole entire chapter. You know what the best news for me was? Moses grew tired. Why is that good news for you and for me? There is absolutely nothing wrong. We will not be a church that says you cannot come in and be like Moses. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being at the end of your road. Moses is tired. Maybe for you, you don't know how much longer you can do this. This job is hard. This relationship is hard. The kids is hard. Bills are stacking up. And then I've got all this going on in my heart and life. And then I go to church, nothing much there. It just feels heavy and hard. And I just feel kind of like weary. And I don't even know if I have room to hope or even pray anymore. Listen, that is biblical. That is Moses in this moment. And what we need and you need is an Aaron and a Hur to come alongside you. But here's the sick reality with American church. No one wants to admit they're Moses. We all come in here and self-validate ourselves. I'm good, how are you good? I'm good, you're good, everyone's good. And there's no vulnerability. No wonder community is this deep. Because you and I don't have the gumption to say, I'm literally falling apart inside. And you will not win the victory without Aaron and Hurs in your life. If you can't pray anymore, they come along and say, hey, how can I lift your hands? I'm getting passionate. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little fired up because this is what is going to create a different type of community. The gospel does this. The gospel says, it's okay. You're broken, your knee. Come in, Aaron and Hur, let's lift you. And you might be Moses right now, and you need to get off of your self-reliance, and you need to say, hey, I need an Aaron and Hur, okay? But you might be the Aaron and the Hur right now. You might be the Aaron and the Hur. Don't wait for someone to say, I'm struggling, I'm hurting, I'm torn inside. Move toward, you see someone struggling, you see someone hurting, you say, hey, how can we pray? How can I live? How can I be there? So this is the reality. This is where it's coming from. Dependence. Lifting each other, saying, okay, I can't, you can, you have to receive what I can. But this is what's amazing. Verse 14 and 16, Moses says, write this as a memorial. And the memorial was not, oh, Joshua won the battle. Woo, Joshua, you did it. Oh, this is great. What's the memorial? What's the first time? What's he write down? What's he build? He builds an altar and he calls it, "The Lord is my banner." Hebrew, Yahweh Nishi. The banner is a military standard that as long as the banner was flying, soldiers would look to establish their identity, reminding them who they were. As long as the banner was still flying, they knew the battle had not been lost. And this is what he's saying. The Lord is our banner. The Lord is the one who went before us and provided the victory. And see, we all have banners that we look to say, is, for my identity. And what we need to see is that through the wilderness, through the external, through the internal trials, we look to the banner. The one who says, "Gone before you." The banner of Calvary. To Christ who said, "You are loved. This is where your identity is. Your victory is sure."